We're selling, the goal is championship. This is an opportunity we can take advantage of. You understand what's at stake. So we're going to go out there and compete every single night. We ain't going to cut ourselves short. We feel like we can play with anybody, and the goal is compete for a championship.
Tough. The morale of the entire team, especially Derrick Rose. I mean, you got to keep going through this. Injuries to his knees is something he has to deal with for the Chicago Bulls. We were all talking about they have a chance if they can get it going if Derrick Rose stay healthy.
The idea that they didn't make the playoffs this year, when we were sold on this being a championship roster, that changing the coach was going to be the difference, this was supposed to be a team that was going to challenge Cleveland. Instead, they're going to be watching Cleveland from the golf course.
For Derrick Rose, he's going to get a make-good deal next year, a one-year deal. He may get decent money in the one-year deal. Derrick Rose early in the year had not played badly. He kind of came unwound on the defensive end of the floor and really, quite frankly, had not been the same player.
A locker room turmoil for the Chicago Bulls after stars Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade questioned their teammates' desire to win.
That prompted guard Rajon Rondo to fire back on social media. Today, the team talked for the first time since the uproar began.
And for many of these young Celtics, as Jimmy Butler's season comes to an end, although Butler is signed, will it be his final game as a member of the Bulls?
Jimmy Butler has been reunited with his former coach, Tom Thibodeau, in Minnesota. Zach LaVine, Chris Dunn, and the number 7 pick go to Chicago. In return, Jimmy Butler, All-Star, along with the number 16 pick.
Wade gave back approximately $8 million of the $23.8 million owed him this season to get the buyout done. He'll go through waivers, he'll pass waivers, and he'll become an unrestricted free agent.
Will the Chicago Bulls be the worst team in the league?
Well, I'm also just kind of hoping the Bulls are the worst team in the league because this is the last year without lottery reform. They need to have a terrible record and get a really high draft pick so they can get their next star. Who is their best player?
Things got heated later in the workout when both players became very aggressive towards each other. It culminated in Portis punching Mirotic in the face, sending him to the hospital with a concussion and some broken bones.
Did not play well down the stretch. Turnovers, just sloppiness. Missed a couple shots, missed some free throws. It's unfortunate because we played extremely hard for the majority of that game. This one hurts. This one hurts a lot.
How did it feel to be on the court for the first time in a Bulls uniform?
It felt great. Feeling that I haven't had in almost a year. I came out here, we got a win. That was most importantly, and so glad to come out here, put a Bulls uniform on, and get this rolling again. I feel great.
A huge win for the Bulls. They get another first-round pick and more financial flexibility. Tip of the cap to the Bulls on a major coup for unloading Nikola Vucevic and all the drama after that punch from Bobby Portis.
The Bulls are finally showing what they can do when they have all of their players back.
Yeah, and they're looking good, and they are fun to watch. Well, the rebuilding Bulls have been surprising everyone, and their offense just got better with guard Zach LaVine making his long-awaited return.
And now, with the 7th pick in the 2018 NBA Draft, the Chicago Bulls select Wendell Carter Jr. from Duke University.
Be a leader of the team, lead by example, show the hard work, be one of the go-to guys. Obviously, we all know our talents and we all know what we can do. I understand my position and my role as a team right now, so I'm looking forward to it.
We will be a better basketball team. So we understand that there's always pressure. Our goal is to be the best basketball team we can be, and that's through this group coming together. We have talent. I believe that. How it comes together, how we play.
The Chicago Bulls have fired head coach Fred Hoiberg. Hoiberg had been the Bulls head coach since June of 2015. In more than 3 seasons at the helm, the Bulls had a losing record of 115 and 155.
When you lose a game by 50 points, you ain't not getting no day off. There's nobody on that team who's a made man. Them guys to think that they can boycott an NBA practice after they lose by 60 points, they need to have a serious meeting.
And Otto Porter gets, really escapes the pressure that was on him on that big deal in Washington. Trade deadline always offers up some fresh starts for guys, and this is a fresh start for all these players.
Things have been weird in Chicago. The Bulls have had 3 coaches in 5 years. One player broke another player's jaw. There's been a near mutiny, a very murky leadership council. One of the arena workers filed a $50,000 lawsuit against Betty the Bull.
With the 7th pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, the Chicago Bulls select Kobe White from the University of North Carolina.
We want to be known as a great combo. We want to take our team to the playoffs, and I don't think it's pressure. I think we expect to be there.
I feel like we both play better under the pressure anyway,
Yeah.
so I think it's a positive thing for both of us.
Not making the playoffs. This is a failed season for the Chicago Bulls. They got nice pieces, they do. And there's some players I would not only not extend Lauri Markkanen, I wouldn't even entertain it. I would say, you know what, thank you for your 3 years of service.
There's a Fire Gar Packs billboard, a full-on billboard in Chicago right now, clearly aimed at General Manager Gar Forman and Vice President of Basketball Operations John Paxson.
This is the first time that the Bulls have gone outside to hire somebody to run their basketball operations since 1985. So this is a really big change. Fans have been clamoring for it. Well, it looks like now they've got it.
Billy Donovan, who was the co-NBA Coaches Association Coach of the Year this past season, Oklahoma City, he's agreed, I'm told, to a multi-year deal, and he'll replace Jim Boylan as the Bulls head coach.
With the 4th pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, the Chicago Bulls select Patrick Williams from Florida State University.
Just understanding when to take shots, get others involved. Here's a kid that had ACL surgery in the last 2 seasons, has averaged 23 points. I think he's fine from that surgery. He's still unbelievable athletic. Zach LaVine, in my opinion, has a chance to be an all-star.
The Bulls aren't going to make that much noise this year. Acquiring Vucevic, it's an amazing deal to pair him with Zach LaVine. They're going to be one of the best pick-and-roll teams in the East.
Pick and pop.
I think this is a great trade for the Bulls.
Clearly, the Bulls are trying to make some noise in terms of upgrading their roster. The Chicago Bulls team that has put everybody on notice that we're trying. We're trying to do it because I love Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is a star.
For Ayo Dosunmu, who was looking sharp last night at his NBA draft party, the former Illini picked 38th overall by the Chicago Bulls, a disappointing number after he had dreams of becoming a first-round pick.
A very good player. He's a great point guard. He will make that young Chicago Bulls team. He'll put those guys in positions to have a little more success offensively. It doesn't feel like a steal when you're paying Lonzo Ball more than $20 million a year, and I like it for Chicago a lot.
The 27-year-old guard whose bird rights they carried and could thus pay whatever they wanted, they didn't put up any free agency fight en route to him agreeing to a 4-year, $37 million deal with Chicago.
The Chicago Bulls finalizing an agreement with 4-time All-Star DeMar DeRozan on a 3-year, $85 million contract. Now, DeRozan averaged just over 21.5 points per game this past season with the Spurs.
Cavaliers involved in a 3-team trade involved a sign and trade. The Cavs get Lauri Markkanen under a 4-year, $67 million contract.
These guys all have chips on their shoulders. They've accomplished stuff individually. You got a bunch of guys who have something to prove. Zach LaVine, it's time to stop talking and start winning. You got Nikola Vucevic is tired of losing. Collectively, I think these guys are coming together at the right time.
We're selling, the goal is championship. This is an opportunity we can take advantage of. You understand what's at stake. So we're going to go out there and compete every single night. We ain't going to cut ourselves short. We feel like we can play with anybody, and the goal is compete for a championship.
Lonzo Ball tried everything he could in order to try to figure out a way to get back. When you're talking about injections and treatment plans, nothing could get him to the point where he would get off of that pain. Just never really subsided, and he was going to be shut down for the remainder of the season.
Then Dosunmu's got it, hits the trailer, Caruso, and a hard foul on Grayson Allen as Caruso hits the deck. They'll look at this to see whether this is a flagrant, whether it's a 1 or a 2 on Grayson Allen.
Even Zach LaVine, they've never played in these kind of high intensity. Chicago's got something of a target on their back. They were at the top of the East for most of this season, but I think this is a learning process still for a pretty young, inexperienced team.
The Bulls, they were one of the best teams in the NBA prior to the All-Star break. They led the league in field goal percentage and had the 4th best offense, but it's been a rough go since the break. They're just 7-12, and their offense, it has plummeted to 26th.
They're not going to win a first-round series. Zach LaVine is hurt with his knee. Lonzo Ball is hurt. Okay. Alex Caruso got a back injury. It's over. You had a nice regular season, and it's unfortunate because it's totally injury-related.
There's so much you can learn from that experience, especially going against the defending champs. There's a lot you can learn from it. You know, it sucks. It always sucks to lose a series, but, you know, it's definitely a great learning tool for a lot of us, and especially us as a team.
With the 18th pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Chicago Bulls select Dalen Terry from the University of Arizona.
When you have invested this much time and energy into a young player and you've helped him develop, and then you add DeMar DeRozan to the mix, and when those two are on the court, they actually play extremely well together.
There were two veteran players that were acquired in the offseason. Point guard Goran Dragic, along with center Andre Drummond. Certainly, they were the biggest acquisitions this offseason. The Bulls choosing to go with depth, maybe become a championship contender.
Lonzo Ball noticeably absent as he prepares for a third similar knee surgery. He's in discomfort every day, even heading up the stairs. He's just ready to get this over with, hopeful for a better recovery this time around.
You got to be able to crack through, against those top teams. You have to be able to beat them because you don't face them in the postseason. We have to be able to beat those guys on a consistent level, consistent basis to call ourselves and be that confident going into, the postseason. So we have to work on it.
It's certainly not the scenario that Billy Donovan would have liked to have had after the Bulls improved so much last year. But the team still has a big goal they can achieve here in 2022-2023, and that's make the playoffs.
And it's not one of those things any team that saw itself as a playoff team at the start of the year wants to be considering at this time of year. This season hasn't worked out at all the way the Bulls expected. Frankly, when the Bulls look at where they are in the Eastern Conference, they're not really competitive.
For the most part, just figuring out what dynamics fit whatever it is that we need to take that next step. Granted, a hell of a defensive team, so just finding out what little more we can add and put with this thing that we do have to be better.
Well, at the moment, all three are under contract thanks to the move made by the Bulls on Wednesday. They gave Nikola Vucevic a 3-year contract extension worth $60 million. This isn't a major surprise since there was interest expressed on both sides.
I just had a really big surgery, hopefully the last one I ever have to get. Long process, going to be out I'm already out this whole next season. When I first got hurt, we didn't really know what it was. I've seen all type of different doctors and stuff, and I was kind of just going up and down.
I wish I could sit here and tell Bulls fans, hey, this team can win 50 games. Hey, this team can, win a playoff series. But I think this is a team that's going to be hovering around the 500 mark, a little bit over that, maybe the high end of the play-in tournament in the 7 to 8 spot.
We stay with it. In this league, it's going to be ups and downs throughout the season, ebbs and flows. Adversity is going to always hit. The true character shows during those moments. And I feel like our true character is showing. We're staying together. We're competing on both ends of the floor.
This is what Chicago needs from Zach LaVine. They need him to be healthy, and they need him to impact winning. This team has played much, much better without him. Teams around the league who are judging whether they would get involved in trade talks for Zach LaVine.
The Bulls are steadfast in their belief that just making the playoffs is good enough for them. That is very sad for a big market franchise like the Bulls. This team is so self-satisfied with mediocrity, really a sad state of affairs.
A lot of ups and downs, a lot of challenges, frustrations, guys being hurt, guys in and out of the lineup, missing key players, combination of bad luck. These guys stuck with it, stayed resilient, fought, didn't give up, didn't give in.
Josh Giddey is getting a fresh start in Chicago after the Bulls traded for the 6'8 guard. The 21-year-old Australian struggled in his third year in OKC, wasn't used as their primary ball handler, wasn't excited about coming off the bench, is excited to be more of a facilitator with the Bulls.
The 11th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Chicago Bulls select Matis Buzelis from Chicago and the NBA's G League team Ignite.
DeMar DeRozan is joining the Sacramento Kings. DeRozan will reportedly get a 3-year deal with the Kings worth $74 million as part of a sign and trade. 34-year-old spent the previous 3 years with Chicago. Last year, he averaged 24 points per game.
There's excitement for every team right now, even for a Bulls team that may not have the highest expectation. Josh Giddey says he doesn't have a chip on his shoulder after the Bulls didn't extend his rookie contract, making him the highest pick from the 2021 draft to not get an extension.
Felt a lot better playing than watching, I'll say that much. I can't even really put into words how I felt out there. I was just blessed, happy to be out there, man. All the support around me was great all night. I felt like I was moving great. So now it's just about building, just continue to do it night in, night out.
I feel like they didn't get enough and they've waited too long. You finally got to a place where Zach was happy. Seems like they waited too long, and not getting the right return doesn't feel very good.
Bulls are out of timeouts. 2 seconds left. Giddey for the win. Go! My God! I cannot believe this. Elizabeth, I'm coming, baby.
I started to just play freely and be me. We as a team found another gear going into the summer. Those are really positive things you can take. Confidence grew. It grew as a team as well, and I thought we finished the year the right way.
We always going to be looking how to improve this roster by adding a player, high caliber player. I would not put any limitations on this roster. The way Kobe has been playing, the way Josh has been playing.